Hey folks, and welcome back to another episode of your Brains Coach podcast. My name is Angela Shurina. I'm your host, I'm your Brains Coach, and it is my job today here to bring to you all the best, cutting edge, most interesting, and most useful brain body tools so you could look, feel, and do your absolute best. Happy Thursday, folks. We are half of the week is gone. At least it is here for me in Cape Town, South Africa. And I don't know, our psychology is so interesting. All these milestones and time periods we think about, they change how we feel. Like now it's Thursday and it already feels easier. Half of the week is gone. Weekend is soon. I believe a lot of people feel like that, even if you, like myself, don't work a traditional 9 to 5 and you might be self-employed and you might be a business owner. If you do some work, it might still feel, because most of the world is on the schedule, that Monday to Wednesday is like this intense spirit, and after that it starts feeling easier. But remember, folks, it's all framing. There is nothing specific or nothing special about the beginning of the week compared to the rest of the week. And we can use the same type of framing to change how we feel when we need it, when we want it. What recent studies, all the research, and me exploring successful people who took control of their mind, of their actions, of design of their life, what I'm learning is framing really matters. I was listening to podcasts with Steven, don't remember his last name, but he's the CEO, Diary of a CEO. He has a podcast, now book coming out, very successful and now famous person. And he was talking about how, for example, the same thing can happen to us. We might be in situations when we feel like imposters, right? Like we're not enough there. Like we just don't belong in this room, not that smart or not that successful, whatever that might be. And he was talking about this fact that you might look at it as an uncomfortable situation that you need to get out as soon as possible. But you can also look at it as a growth opportunity. Like you are in a room to learn, to improve, to get better. It's a challenge and it's a growth opportunity. And based on how you frame it in your mind, you're going to start feeling differently. When you think about any discomfort or challenging situation that you're going through as an opportunity to growth. And that's how I actually teach a lot of my clients to think about anything that they procrastinate on because they feel like it's going to be a challenge. They feel like it's going to be difficult. And I train myself to do the same. Whenever I have this almost negative association with a difficulty or a change or a challenge coming into my life, I tell myself, this is how you change. This is how you grow. This is how you get better. And then the feeling that you get is completely different. Now you're almost looking forward to that. You are engaged. You are ready to learn, to absorb the whole experience, and you engage your body in a different way that allows you to show up as your absolute best. That's kind of just something that has been going through my mind for quite a long time now. And the more I look at different people who are successful, the more I read into literature, the more I listen to different experts in neuroscience and psychology and behavior change, the more I get back to this idea that it's all about the framing. Like our whole experience is a big frame. And very often the difference between you feeling happy and fulfilled and you feeling miserable and unfulfilled. It might be just the change of frame. Not always, you also have to work on things and change things, but frame has a huge effect on how you show up for your life and for any situation that you might be experiencing. That being said, today I wanted to share with you something that came to my mind, and I made a post on it about it actually on LinkedIn. So on Tuesday, every second Tuesday, we have our new mastermind. So a group of individuals, there are 5 of us in it, and we got together to work on our business goals, right? Mastermind. If you are not familiar with the concept from Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill, that's a book, but also that's a very famous, popular thing to organize this mastermind, the concept from the book. It's again a group of individuals getting together to challenge themselves, to help each other to reach their goals, to keep themselves accountable, and to also bring into the room this mastermind, this spirit or additional value that comes from the fact that people get together and think about problems, challenges together, and the accumulation of experiences, of ideas, of so much more than each of the individuals, and definitely so much more that you personally can bring to the table. And that usually accelerates people's progress in the areas that they choose to work on. Specifically, most of the masterminds that I'm aware of are about business, right? So how can you make more progress in your business, on your mission, on your vision? So that's what we formed with a few folks here in amazing people, amazing entrepreneurs here in Cape Town, South Africa. And on this Tuesday, we got together and we were talking about different things. But what stood out for me that became a subtopic of the conversation at the end of our conversation was this concept that people who succeed, people who keep pushing the boundaries of what's possible, people who just keep developing themselves from zero to world class, they have 3 aspects of their personality, 3 things that they are, so to speak, really great at that keep pushing them forward. And those 3 things are pain, purpose, focus. Pain, purpose, focus. If you take anyone who you admire in the public realm, who built themselves from, again, zero to hero and achieved a lot more success than an average person, they always, if you read their biographies, if you listen to their interviews, if you talk to them, they always have these 3 things: pain, purpose, fear. And I wanted to talk to you about that so you could connect to those things in your life and improve and work on them if you are interested in achieving the level of success in performance that is not average, that is bigger than a lot of people will achieve in their life. And a lot of it, folks, we all have talents and genius and opportunities and luck going our ways many times. But in order to use all of it, in order to take advantage of all of that and achieve, again, what unprecedented levels of success, we also have to have these 3 things to push us to keep pursuing the goal, the vision that for a lot of people might seem and feel crazy. A lot of people won't even be able to see what's in your head. If you have that bigger vision and if you're serious about pursuing it, so think about those 3 things, and I'm going to talk about each of them in a moment. Think about them and think where you can get more of them or build a better connection to that. So let's start with the first one, pain. All of these successful people who build themselves from zero to unprecedented levels of success have this pain that they are running from almost. Something deep dissatisfaction. Not even, pain is not always the right word, but deep dissatisfaction with something, with area of life, of the world, of themselves. And if they don't achieve that vision, they're going to experience also that pain, or they might have the ability, not the chance and opportunity, but this pain might come back. That's what we all feel. I have that. I felt like I haven't achieved, first of all the visions that I had in my head. And the second, I feel that this vision of all of us knowing how to unlock our full potential, and me not having a lot of resources I have now to work on myself, to know that it's actually possible instead of kind of stumbling through life. I want to build a vision of the world where everyone knows how to do their best. And in fact, the world is built to help all of us to do our best. So we have the tools, so we have the science, so we have the guidance, and the environment supports this. So that, and not getting back to my old environment, back to Russia, living quote unquote normal life that I actually believe quite boring. Mission, vision driven life is what I strive for, and I'm running away from the ordinary, I guess. Aren't we all? I don't know, but that pain of not being satisfied with what was, when not wanting to go back, wanting to prove that I can be successful in a different way, wanting to build a different world, and feeling the pain of not being able to achieve it. That would drive me. And every time I feel not as eager to pursue action, I connect to that pain and remind myself that it can come back, or my vision can get away from me, and I will never be able to live the vision of my life that I know is possible and that I truly want and desire and believe in. So the pain of not having, Dylan, one of the guys in the mastermind, he put it in words really well. Imagine the failed state. And it doesn't just work for your big vision. It also works for your workout pursuits, for fitness pursuits, for your health pursuits. Imagine that you never achieve your goal, or that you're going to stay in that failed state, or things going to get worse. Like, create a vision of that pain that will push you towards your goal like nothing else. You're going to feel like your ass is on fire. In fact, on the previous to last episode on Andrew Huberman Lab podcast, Andrew Huberman talked about neuroscientists from Stanford, really amazing scientist, and does great research and puts it into great podcasts. So he talked about how also when we're pursuing our goals and we lose motivation to take actions at certain points, what seems to work best across the board for all people is imagining this failed state, that you're not gonna achieve what you desire, that you're gonna get some pain, that you're gonna miss out on so many things in life if you don't achieve that goal. So imagining that pain again will motivate you like nothing else. And again, if you take any of your favorite examples, from Elon Musk and him having existential crisis when he was a teenager, if he often mentions this, or if you take Alex Hormozy, him not wanting to get back home and like feeling like a failure in front of his dad specifically, or Russell Brunson not being able to show up for his family and really wanting to provide, right? All of these people are talking about some pain that they experienced, and they don't want to either themselves experience this pain again, or they don't want the world to, or other people in the world to experience that. So pain. All of the successes that you admire who built themselves to where they are today, they all do have this pain somewhere in their soul that they feel, and they probably connect to very often, that pushes them to do a lot more and achieve a lot more. So pain. figure out your homework, your assignment number one. Figure out what's your pain. Imagine that failed state, using words, Dylan's words. Imagine that failure. Imagine that pain of not getting it. Imagine that pain of falling behind and getting to this some failed state with whichever goal or vision you pursue. So pain, write about it, journal about that, think about that, envision that whenever you start losing motivation to take action, and see how your motivation levels gonna rise. For whichever reason, we human beings are usually more motivated by pain than by any pleasure or grand visions, at least for the action that we need to take now. Number two, purpose. All of the people you admire, they have vision, they have purpose, they have something that feels like a meaningful pursuit, like this matters, and because of that my life gonna matter. That vision of the world, like Alex Hormozy, again, I've just been recently following a lot of his content and his interviews. He has making business education accessible to all because he had to struggle a lot. So that's his purpose and vision. They then take Russell Brunson and ClickFunnels founder. He wants to give all the entrepreneurs the opportunity to deliver their vision into this world. So that's why he cares so much about also these business tools like ClickFunnels, like sales funnels, etc. Elon Musk trying to save humanity. Steve Jobs, what was Steve Jobs' mission? Being different, allowing the, outliers to thrive and create a better world. Maybe something like that. I'm not actually sure. I need to read some of his stuff. But what I do know is when I work with my clients on health and fitness goals, the first session, we talk about their big why. Why is this goal important? And not just, let's say you work on a health, fitness, weight loss goal. Why is this important in your life? What is going to do for your family? What is going to do for your career? What is going to do for your relationship? What is going to do for your relationship with your kids and grandkids? How many things you're going to be able to enjoy, or you're going to miss out on, back to that pain? What's the how is this connected to your bigger vision, purpose? And there is also a recent book, Your Future Self, that we talked about on this podcast. And people who tend to have all the motivation to delay gratification for the future, to do hard actions for a future goal, they all have this better, closer relationship with their future self. All this to say is that humans are driven by visions. Humans are driven by reward, actually, but that bigger purpose and vision allows us to put in a lot more actions long term for that bigger reward that the vision is. And hey, a lot of visionaries have the kind of vision, the kind of purpose that they can't even achieve in their time frame, in their lifetime. But that purpose, that vision still is like this, carrot in front of you, and you're just going after it and after it and after it, even though it's always unreachable because it's just a little bit in front of you. So all of that to say, what research, data, interviews of successful people and aspects shows is that when you have that purpose, when you feel like you're pursuing something meaningful, something that is bigger than yourself, also, by the way, the experts of high performance say the same. People, true high performers, people who achieve, again, a lot, unprecedented levels of success, they have this meaningful vision, purpose that they are pursuing, and which, by the way, stimulates your dopamine and gives you the energy, the motivation, the drive, and plus it makes you a better learner. Dopamine is also important for learning. It's the molecule of curiosity, right? And when you have this purpose, this vision, you have more of that dopamine that makes you, again, a better learner, you learn better, you learn faster, you adapt, you change, and then also it gives you energy for action. Even when you're tired, dopamine makes you feel less tired and like you can endure a lot more. Dopamine also releases resources in your brain and in your body for you to pursue that action. So many things happen when you have this purpose, this vision, physiologically and also psychologically. A lot of people talking to founders, entrepreneurs, talking to people on different podcasts, a lot of people don't realize that actually the way you think, and back to the framing that we talked about in the beginning of the podcast, the way you think changes the molecules released in your brain, and then your brain changes and it gives different commands to different parts of your body, and your whole physiology and biochemistry change. That's why it's so important to take control of your self-talk and your mindset. And I believe this is the only point where you do actually have a lot of control. I'm not saying it's easy, but you are conscious about what's going on in your head, and you can change the way you think, the way you frame things, the way you feel. And having the frame of this purpose, of vision, of meaningful pursuit towards something that's bigger than yourself, that's also something that, again, all the people who achieve the level of success that is just unthought of, they all have this bigger purpose vision. And so your assignment number 2 is to, again, journal. Take a page, a couple of pages, set this limit, or maybe 5 minutes, whatever that might be. Set this limit and write about your vision, your purpose. Why is this what you're doing, what you want to achieve is meaningful? What are you trying to create or achieve or build bigger than yourself? Like, what is this meaningful, purposeful thing that you are pursuing? So assignment number 2, journal about your purpose, about your bigger why, about your vision, your bigger vision for yourself, your life, and what you are pursuing. Sip on some water. Feeling like my voice is getting I'm sorry, guys. So pain and purpose. And the third one is focus. And here, I'm not talking about focus in a sense that, you sit down to work and there are distractions in your head and in your environment. I'm not talking about this kind of focus. I'm actually going to talk about something else. Focus as your ability to almost shut down, filter out the rest of the world, the rest of what is offered, what you can be pursuing, what you can be working on getting, people you can be meeting. So many things come into your world, into your environment. And what all successful people have is this ability to eliminate most of the stuff for the pursuit of just one or a couple of things. Take again, Elon Musk works insane hours, and most of the stuff in his life doesn't exist except for this vision and pursuing, building it. You take any success leader you admire, especially in that building phase, in the transformation phase, they were obsessed with this one thing. You take Mark Zuckerberg, you take Russell Brunson, you take Sarah Blakely, but just, female leader who I also admire. You take anyone who transformed themselves for quite a while. Bill Gates, while he was building the whole thing, totally obsessed and insanely focused on just, a couple of things in his life. And the rest of the things were felt almost non-existent. And I can tell you how it feels, because that's how often I feel about my work and about the vision I'm building. I'm so obsessed that the rest of the world kind of almost doesn't exist. Like, yeah, really, it's happening. And it's kind of sometimes scary even that you don't even notice the rest of the world. And when you talk to other people and they don't even really understand what you're talking about, you're like, oh yeah, I'm really deep into this thing, I guess, that a lot of people don't even understand this. And for them, there is like a whole other world and you're just not a part of this world because you're so focused on the pursuit of this vision. For me, it's building this world, this vision. Of educational platform and of the whole movement to spread the knowledge, the science, the practices, to build the environments where we all have the tools to unlock and release and bring out more of our potential. And so most of the time, I'm so focused on that, reading about that, listening about that, and my mind always filters the world in a way that I see more of that, like the books, the podcasts, the thought leaders, different events. And in any conversation, my brain is just searching for that. And whenever my brain encounters something that is related, it just grabs it and brings it to my attention. And then after a while, it feels like the whole world is actually about that. But then again, you start talking to someone else and they're like, yeah, no, the world is much bigger and different and more diverse. But back to focus, this ability to filter out most of the world for the pursuit of this vision of this thing that is not even guaranteed. That's why it's so crazy. That's what separates people who have unprecedented levels of success, who change the world, who transform some part of the world in some very noticeable way, changing themselves in so many different big and audacious ways. So people have this ability to focus. And again, I'm not even talking here about this ability to work in a focused manner, like do the writing, to create or program or code or create some art or work on your business in a focused way. I'm talking about this ability to filter out most of the world and let it all go and purposefully miss out on most of the things out there for the pursuit of this vision. And it feels scary. I can tell you from my experience that when you filter all of this out and you say, I'm going to miss out on all of that and I'm going to, so to speak, sacrifice all of that for the pursuit of something that means more to me, it feels scary because at the end of the day, there are no guarantees that you're going to succeed and you might be just missing out and losing all of this stuff with no result at the end. But it seems that people who are able to do that fully seem to achieve great success and have a meaningful life when done right. Obviously, we don't know about a lot of other people who just, pursued something and never got anything out of it. We probably wouldn't have many of those examples. But people who do achieve success, they do have this ability. And yes, the scary part, there are no guarantees, but the sure way to get there is to have that kind of focus. And not everyone is ready for this kind of commitment, but that ability to focus on just one thing and filter out the rest of the world, that's the kind of focus I'm talking about here. And your assignment for this, I don't have a specific assignment for you, except think about your life and your focus. Are you insanely focused on the thing you care about? Do you have fewer things than other people that you are aware of, that you focus on? Do you care only about a small set of things instead of, all of it, allowing everything to come into your life? Now, the more purposeful, intentional you are about what you allow in your life and what you focus on, the more those areas that you actually focus on will flourish, will develop, and will become something you're proud of and going to be transformed. So my assignment for you is to think about where can you create more focus on only the most important, the most meaningful, the most rewarding things. And it can be work, for example, family, certain relationships, friendships, right? But the fewer things you have, the more you develop them. That's the principle. Where your focus goes, your attention, your energy flow, and that's where your actions go, and that's the areas of your life that's gonna grow, develop, and flourish. Pain, purpose, focus. So this is what I want you to think about. Pain. Write a page, a couple of minutes, 5 minutes, sit down and write about what's your pain, what's going to motivate you through hard, demotivating moments and challenges. What's your pain? Either, again, using words, Dylan's word, imagine the failed state. What's that pain for you? That's going to set your ass on fire, and you're going to run through whatever that challenging action is at the moment. What's your purpose? What's that bigger vision of yourself, of your life, of the world? Again, take 5 minutes, take 1 page and write about that. And then focus. Are you focused in your life? Are you focused on fewer things than majority of people are? You need that focus to achieve the level of success that for other people seems crazy. So do you have that focus? And if you don't, develop. And the most painful part is to start deleting things out of your life, because that's going to feel like a loss and something that you're going to miss out on, and all the potential rewards and shiny objects, etc. Deleting them will feel painful. I just want to warn you, it's not going to be easy. Otherwise, the rest of the world would do it. But this focus, it is absolutely necessary to achieve anything great. Pain, purpose, focus. Now, folks, guys, it's up to you what kind of life experience you want. But if you're driven by bigger than most of the people things, and you do want to create some sort of greatness in different areas of your life, these are the things that you need to develop: your connection to your pain, your connection to your purpose, your connection to your focus. And the choice is yours, but please understand that you gotta have this in order to achieve great things and perhaps change the world. Let's get out there and change the world together. That's my call to action to you today. And besides that, folks, in the show notes, there's going to be a link to our Personal Excellence audio events on LinkedIn. It's going to be 30 minutes again. And today the theme is scientific goal setting, the science secrets of goal setting. How do you actually set the goals to achieve them? So that's the question I'm going to be answering on today's discussion, on today's panel. So the link is in the show notes. 30 minutes, Personal Excellence Thursday. Actually, we're starting today the new series, Unstoppable Entrepreneur. So check it out. The link is in the show notes. And folks, do me a favor. If you are getting a lot of value or some value from this podcast, if you're liking the experience and you'd like more people to know about that stuff and think like this, then please do share, review, put some 5 stars wherever you find this podcast. I would really appreciate that. And again, check out the link for our LinkedIn event today. And till next time, have an awesome day. Do something great and work on your pain, purpose, and focus.